Like, that's the thing in this trial, the sentencing, the verdict, all the hyperbole, all of the pomp and circumstance, all of the this, all of that, it means nothing. It means nothing. This was all done for the public's entertainment. This was all done to get people like me to be quiet. This was all done to give weirdos like Vladimir Lyuski and Torre the ability to constantly challenge and try to check my veracity, my actuality, my truth, and to get the public to not believe whistleblowers like me. That's why this was done. This ain't even about Diddy. It's about the rest of them. Do you know they're still having white parties?
Get over here for this one, because this whole situation just flipped into something wild. Those rumors about Gucci Mane being cloned, they're suddenly sounding way more serious now, especially after Kanye West stepped in and started talking like he's got inside knowledge about what really happened.
Diddy's getting sentenced to 4 years. Does Cassie get justice in all this?
Still
Does that
not
look like
enough. Still not enough. Still not enough. And it's wild because she's getting such a better deal than dear Lee Cordell Smith is.
30 million and your perpetrator gets 50 months? I mean,
Still not enough.
jeez.
Her life is never going to be the same. And people are going to find ways to make her life complicated, to force her to have to spend that 30 million every way they possibly can. You know, there is no up. There is no win. Haven't I been saying that?
According to what's being whispered, the real Gucci didn't even make it out of those years he spent locked up, and the person walking around today might not be the original at all. People are saying his wife Keisha is basically acting like a handler, getting paid to keep everything under control and guide this new version of Gucci like it's nothing.
Please.
There's a woman, what is it called? Sprout to Success or something like that. Some kind of charter school, private, independent private school in Miami Gardens, which is right there in the area of South Florida where he's been warden for Satan of. Because he ain't nothing but a shepherd for the devil. But she was going to invite him to come to the school to speak to her students there, K through 12. Yeah. You want to know what I find really interesting? All of these people that wanted to bring him to schools and bring him to this and bring him to that. How the hell are they going to do that when he's on the SEX offenders registry list? He's not allowed to be around kids.
That does make moving a little hard.
He's not allowed to be around schools. He's on the registry. Didn't I already do a tutorial about the registry? Like, I don't know. He is a registered SEX offender, and people want to bring him to school.
It makes you look at the fact she manages his social accounts and stays right by him every second in a whole new way, especially considering how folks claim she was pushing problematic stuff on him back in the day. Gucci's ex, Mac Breezy, and even Nicki Minaj tried to let everybody know something was off, but they were dismissed like they were just talking nonsense. And now that these old receipts are resurfacing, you start to wonder if they were actually telling the truth this whole time.
It's not going to be in long. They say with points and time served and any type of... He might be out by Christmas next year.
People say a lot of things. You know what else they said? They said he was going to get bail. How did that work? You know what else they said at the end of that trial? Even after he was found guilty of the Mann Act, they was putting together a 4th of July party. How did that work? People say a lot of things, don't they? I guess they don't hear God say no. I don't know what's gonna happen to him. I'm not even trying to guess. What I am praying for, though, is that real victims and real survivors actually get the attention that they deserve, that they get the justice that they.
What makes this even crazier is that all these clone accusations trace back to 2013 when Gucci had that legendary Twitter meltdown that set the whole industry on edge. He was lashing out at everybody like he didn't care who got offended, and he wasn't even looking at the plug who was giving him the stuff he was using back then.
I'm hoping that the other 100 civil cases will not just be left at civil cases and will actually be turned to criminal cases, because they should be, because I got a big issue with everyone thinking that money is the end all be all into stopping a predator from operating. It is not.
Amen.
It is not. Why do so many of these cases stay civil? Why aren't they turned criminal when there's criminal acts all through the pages?
Can you file a criminal charge and still get money off of a like? Can you sue later, or is it strictly victims looking for money?
Simpson's family, OJ was acquitted, and they was able to take him to civil court and get him for bread. It really doesn't matter which way you do it.
That is true.
It can go either way. A civil proceeding and a criminal proceeding is just two different proceedings. But if you have criminal acts in a civil proceeding, just because someone gets paid or it gets settled and people get paid out, it doesn't mean that those acts shouldn't be tried criminally.
He suddenly started coming at Yo Gotti, Nicki Minaj, Waka Flocka, T.I., Angela Yee, Rocky French Montana, Tyga, Birdman, and even Black China like he had been holding these grudges for years. Nobody was spared during that digital blow-up. He kicked Waka out of Brick Squad because he felt Waka wasn't standing by him the way he expected, and he dropped statements saying he and a couple others ran a train on Nicki and Angela Yee, which had the whole internet spinning because of how bold that sounded. He even decided to call out Yo Gotti for being fake and copying his style, adding more drama onto an already packed situation. The list of people he fired shots at that night just kept getting longer, and everyone watching could tell something was seriously off. And then not long after that meltdown, Gucci got arrested, and that's when the clone rumors exploded all over the internet. People noticed his appearance change and his behavior shifted, and his whole energy felt unfamiliar, so they started insisting the man who came out of jail wasn't the same one who went in. And once that theory caught momentum, it never slowed down.
Runs up onto multiple properties, and they collected all kinds of things that never made it to that courtroom, did it? Not one mention of a firearm, not one mention, even though some of the testimony said that he carried firearm. The way Kid Cudi's car, the way that whole situation happened, I mean, it was on court document. People were sitting there talking about it, and they still trying to act like that never happened. Capricorn clock. Like, is everybody forgetting her testimony? I'm just trying to figure it out. Oh, it was all Cassie. Cassie was the mastermind, but she was doing it all with his corporate credit card. That means it's his money. Was she the mastermind? Like, come on. And now, because all of that stuff was redacted, and because all of that stuff was kept off the record, and for whatever reason, the feds didn't present a lot of stuff that would have made sure that he was gone forever, rather than just being gone to November. And it's not going to be November. See, that sentencing is coming.
Gucci ended up getting arrested in Atlanta after people started calling the police saying he was out in traffic acting wild and making threats toward anyone who got too close. When the officers pulled up, instead of calming down, he actually charged straight at them, forcing the cops to wrestle him into custody anyway. Once they detained him, they found he was carrying some serious illegal substances along with a firearm.
Saying that it might go until Monday. I was actually kind of surprised that it did, considering the show that they put on for the public. It put on such a lovely show.
That was a show.
Wouldn't you say?
That was a show.
It was
I
a
don't.
video montage.
Oh my god.
You would have thought it was like a retirement ceremony. Or someone winning an award for, lifetime achievement or something. The way they sat there and the way they carried on and the way, especially when it gets to the point where lawyers are forcing themselves to tears or almost to tears, talking about how inspiring that deviant is.
And that discovery made everything even worse for him. And the thing is, this wasn't even his first time running into legal trouble. Gucci had already dealt with other charges before.
He's gonna get out.
I'm saying if he starts snitching.
I mean, I don't think. I mean, he would have to turn over at this point in time. He would have to turn over a whole lot, and he's going to do some time because, unlike the public, the judge knows exactly what he did. The judge has seen all of the evidence of everything that was kept out, of everything that was redacted, of everything that wasn't presented.
Right.
Like that's the reason why he's still in there. If it was such a clean sweep and if it was such a neat sweep, he would have been got bombed.
Right. That makes sense.
It's not that, yeah, but see, that's the danger of the media. That's the danger of the media. How many bot farms have been put to task to work the algorithm and to work the thumbnails and the storylines of what's really going on?
Including the time he hit someone in the head with a champagne bottle at an Atlanta nightclub, which had already put him on the police radar. So when he finally stood in front of the judge after this new arrest, it was clear to the court that this wasn't a one-time mistake. This was a pattern, and the system was ready to teach him a lesson. He ended up getting sentenced to 3 years and 3 months behind bars, but because of credit and good behavior, he only served around 2 years.
It just disappeared. Do you know what I thought when I heard it myself? I said, oh, it must have not been real. Because there's no way in the world this isn't going to make it to that trial. You want to know what's even funnier? Diddy went to that jail to visit Derek his damn self in 2024.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. Guess what name he was using to go to that jail to visit Derek so nobody would know it was him?
John Smith.
Brother Love.
Oh shit.
What is clergy?
Damn. This is very wild. What made you?
Guess where he went? Just a couple of days before HSI raided all of his properties. Fuck you mean? What do I think about the powers that be? What you want me to think?
But wait. What made you find this rabbit hole to go down?
Now this is where the story gets interesting, because people started claiming that his time in prison was when he supposedly transformed himself and decided to get his life back on track. At least, that's what the official story says. Whether that's the actual truth or just what they wanted everyone to believe is a whole different conversation. What made folks side-eye the situation even more was what Gucci reportedly admitted while he was locked up.
The filler. You wanna know what's funny? While Mark Agnifilo was sitting there making fun of Baby Oil and doing all of the stuff that he was doing in court and creating all of that nice guy hoopla, trying to get everyone to believe that Diddy is not such a terrible person and now he's a wonderful man and he deserves to go back to Madison Square Garden and he's gonna be right there to cheer him on. Do you wanna know where else he was? In Wayne County. Negotiating with Derek Lee Cordello Smith.
Wow.
Diddy's victim.
Wow.
Why would he be in negotiations with him if he actually believed that everything that he said in that courtroom was true?
Sounds like a fixer.
Sounds like a fixer. A fucking liar.
Boy.
You think I give a shit about that sentencing? Let me regale you. Wait a minute.
And as you're pulling it up,
Is it your testimony that you have your team of technicians at the crime lab who can and have manipulated evidence to place grapes not only on Derek Lee Cordello Smith, but other men as well, with the end result being they will plead because they have no choice. And they know you will get convictions because the SA victims in those cases are actually victims of Sean Combs and of the sexual slavery ring in Michigan. And guess what the witness's response was? So what? Yeah.
This is America.
He said the reason he had been spiraling and acting out so aggressively was because he was constantly high on lean. He claimed that the substances had him completely out of control back then, and being in prison forced him to sober up and see how far gone he really was. But depending on who you ask, that prison transformation story has some holes in it, especially after everything people noticed once he got released. Gucci had posted a long message back then, and it sounded like someone finally facing everything head on. He wrote, "Woke up the other day out of this hospital bed, and I'm so embarrassed and ashamed of my behavior that was brought to my attention. I just want to man up right now and take this time to apologize to my family, friends, the industry, and most of all my fans. I'm sorry. I've been drinking lean for 10 plus years, and I must admit it has destroyed me."
On the status
What's
level,
affected his pockets? It's just left him. He still got enough to play with.
a lot to play with. I mean,
Yeah, for now. For now. They want him to go to New Jersey. They want him to go to Fort Dix, one of the weakest guarded federal penitentiaries in the United States. I would know. I know Fort Dix. It's a real nice place to take somebody. So when they finally get to go outside out in the yard, they can just get somebody to come and extract them right up out of there. You can leave and you don't have to worry about ever being held accountable. See, I'm not dumb. I ain't nobody's fool. People like being fooled these days. People like being lied to. They want to believe in the land of make-believe. Diddy said sorry, and now we can all go home and have ice cream. Fuck you mean?
I want to be the first rapper to admit it. I'm addicted to lean, and that stuff ain't no joke. I can barely remember all the things I've done and said. However, there's no excuse. I'm currently incarcerated, but I will be going to rehab because I need help. I want to thank everyone who has stood by me during this difficult time. Please keep me in your prayers. That message shook the whole industry because it sounded like he was finally owning up to what he had been battling for years.
Diddy got caught drinking in prison. This comes after Diddy was begging the judge at his sentencing hearing to let him free that day because he said he was a changed man, and this was the first time that he was sober in 25 years. Now, according to TMZ, Diddy has run into some trouble with prison officials after he was caught with homemade alcohol. And in prison, it's usually called hooch. much, but this homemade alcohol that Diddy was caught with was made of Fanta, apples, and sugar. According to TMZ, the prison officials did want to move Diddy to a new unit after he got caught with this homemade alcohol, but they ended up reversing that decision, and it looks like Diddy is staying in the unit that he is in. What makes this even worse for Diddy is the fact that he is already ruining his potential shot to get an early release. You know that one of the reasons why Diddy wanted transported to Fort Dix prison is because the programs that they offer. That's because some of the programs that are offered at Fort Dix could give Diddy potentially up to a year off of his sentence. That's only if Diddy could be accepted and finish the program. And one of the things that they will deny you entry into these programs for is messing up and doing things you're not supposed to do. I mean, Diddy hasn't even been at Fort Dix for a full 2 weeks yet, and he's already doing things like this. Honestly, I can't say any of us are surprised. If Diddy is already getting in trouble and he's only been at this prison for 2 weeks, he still has a long time to go.
TMZ said Diddy is airing out dirty laundry for inmates. They said Sean Diddy Combs is being put to work behind bars, and his first federal prison job has him doing an old fluff and fold. That's probably what Diddy was ordering with those escorts. A fluff and fold special. Sources familiar with the situation tell us Diddy's first gig at Fort Dix in New Jersey plants him in the laundry room, washing and drying dirty clothes. Manual labor may come as a shock to Diddy. During his criminal trial, federal prosecutors claimed he couldn't even charge his own phone or fetch a bottle of water and would send his army of personal assistants to basically do everything for him.
By the time he got released, he wasn't just sober. He looked like somebody who had rebuilt himself from scratch. He quit every substance he was using, detoxed completely, and even jumped into working out like it was a new lifestyle. His voice, his energy, and even his mindset came back sounding sharper and clearer, and people couldn't believe how different he looked in such a short amount of time. And that right there is exactly when the clone rumors exploded again. Folks online started saying that the real Gucci had been unalived in prison and that the man walking out wasn't the same one who went in. The theory was that the government swapped him with a replacement to cover everything up, and because his appearance changed so much, people ran with it like it was confirmed truth. Things got even messier when he married Keisha right after getting out, because that's when people started putting all kinds of labels on her. They claimed she basically took full control of his life the moment he came home. People online were saying she runs his social media accounts, watches everything he posts, and even handles all the stuff he needs day to day, like she's managing a whole operation.
Sean Diddy Combs is setting the record straight about his life behind bars, following a report that said the rap mogul, who is serving a 4-year sentence for 2 prostitution-related convictions, was caught drinking homemade alcohol in prison. His spokesperson emphatically denies the allegation, telling People magazine in a statement published November 9th, "There have been several false and reckless reports circulating about Mr. Combs. He has not violated any prison rules. His sobriety and self-discipline are priorities, and he is taking them seriously." The 56-year-old was recently transferred to a low-security correctional facility in New Jersey after spending over a year at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. At the new institution, he was alleged to have created a mixture of Fanta, sugar, and apples, which ferments into alcohol after 2 weeks, TMZ reported. The spokesperson continues, "This is only his first week at FCI Fort Dix, and unfortunately, rumors will surface throughout his time there. We ask the public and press to give him the benefit of the doubt, the privacy to focus on his personal growth, and the grace to move forward in peace."
To this day, the internet still argues about whether she's just a supportive wife or something way deeper, and it has kept those clone rumors alive like a fire that refuses to go out. The whole situation was giving heavy handler energy, and people online caught it fast. Keisha's behavior had folks raising eyebrows, and it only got louder when Nicki Minaj recently snapped at her after Keisha mentioned her during a Breakfast Club interview.
He's now tagged with 2 felonies. He's not free to go about and do what he wants to do. For the next, 89 months or thereabouts, he's going to be under the control of the federal government. And that's no little thing for a guy like this. So here's what supervised release is going to be like for him. It'll be intense at first. They'll drug test him. They'll put monitoring software on his devices. They will, they'll have constant meetings and check-ins and that kind of thing once he gets out of prison. And as time goes on and he demonstrates compliance, the supervision will get less and less intense. Probably to the point where he just has to call in once in a while. But if you get too complacent and all of a sudden, you don't register, or all of a sudden, porn's an addiction, right? And, if you're looking at porn all the time, guess what? It's tough to stop that. It just is. And I've known clients that have, violated their conditions over and over again, and they wind up going back to prison. Now, Diddy seems to me like he's got some discipline. He doesn't follow the rules. And, the first violation could be like 18 months. The second violation could be this, or he could be demonstrating such good compliance that he gets off early, which happens quite often. Okay, well, now that but he still has to register as a sex offender. He still has to do all these different things. Even after he's off of supervised release, he'll still have to register. And if he goes to Miami, because his home's in New York, he's got to check in with the local sheriff and say, hey, sex offender in town, that's what he got to do. I mean, this is not an easy thing for him to have to deal with down the road. But is it life in prison? No, it's not. Is it 20 years in prison? No, it's not. Is it even 10 years? No, it's not. But it's still going to be something he has to deal with. So it's no little thing that he is part of this community of people that have to be supervised, and he gave the government a big foray into controlling his life. And that's what happens when you decide to break the law.
Nicki didn't hold back at all. She fired shots and added even more heat to the rumor mill, saying Gucci wife has been trying to be me for years, been dying for the spotlight for years. She's there to keep Gucci sedated. Hearing something that direct from Nicki had the whole internet buzzing because it came from someone who actually knows the industry deeply. But like I mentioned, these clone rumors were already floating around long before Nicki spoke up. Still, when someone with her level of influence hints at Gucci being controlled or replaced, it gives those theories a new spark that people jump on immediately. And that's exactly what happened. Everybody suddenly brought the old conversations back like they never left. Then things got even crazier when Gucci's ex, Mac Breeze, came through last year with her own intense story. She claimed Gucci was unalived in prison and that the version of him walking free today is some kind of cloned replacement. She said that when she saw him after he got out, she knew instantly that he wasn't the same man she knew before his sentence. She said his whole vibe was switched up, like something inside him wasn't lining up with the person she remembered. According to her, every time she tried to talk to him, Keisha would step in quickly and get super protective, almost like she didn't want Mac having too much time around him. Mac said it felt like Keisha feared she would notice the truth about who she was talking to. And after Nicki made her claims about Keisha acting like a handler, Mac didn't stay quiet. She popped out again and doubled down on every single thing she had said before, making the internet spiral even more with questions about what actually happened to Gucci. Mac didn't just speak on it this time. She went all the way and dropped a whole song demanding that the real Gucci's body be released because she believed something serious had happened to him. She claimed his energy didn't match the man she once knew, and she insisted Keisha was hiding way more than she ever admitted. The song had people talking non-stop because it sounded like she was saying the quiet part out loud. Gucci eventually spoke up about all the clone rumors, but even his response didn't shut people up the way he hoped. He tried to explain everything in his own words, saying, "In a way, I feel like I grew. I kind of morphed into a different person. Shedding some of my old ways, I can say I grew up. I love the person I was, I love the person I am, and I love the person I grew to be. I tried to lose weight. I tried to take care of myself, change my thinking, my environment, and the ones that weren't benefiting me. Guess that's the transformation everybody's saying they can't believe, but I can believe it," which sounded honest, but folks still kept looking at him like something wasn't adding up.
Diddy obviously just starting out his time, well, not just starting out, but starting out his official sentence since being sentenced not too long ago. And I think suffice to say, it's not going well so far.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, he's got 4 years and change that he's going to ultimately have to serve, although he has served already a year as he awaited his trial and then went through his trial. So ultimately probably he was going to serve about 2.5 years or so, but it's still serious time that he's going to have to serve. And he has already, at least if you listen to people close to Diddy, been the victim of violence behind bars. So there was an incident that we first learned about about 2 weeks ago during Diddy's sentencing hearing, and he said, I was sleeping in my bed in the prison. It's a federal detention facility in Brooklyn called MDC Brooklyn, and there are federal inmates who are in many cases waiting for their trial as well. And Diddy claimed that somebody held a knife to his throat. He woke up and this guy basically had him, and he had the knife, and Diddy was at this person's mercy. Now, it's unclear what exactly happened from there. Was there a guard that came in? Did Diddy somehow fight this person off? Well, seems unlikely that happened. Or did the person just leave? Bottom line, this guy, at least according to people close to Diddy and Diddy himself, could have hurt him badly or even taken his life. And I think that was something they wanted known during the hearing because they wanted the judge to take some pity on Diddy. It probably didn't help ultimately because he does get the 4+ year sentence. But again, this just is something that is the reality of life for Diddy right now. It's a guy who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars who is now living in a prison cell and will be at least, again, for the next 2.5 years or so.
There needs to be someone here who's been here all along. I've been waiting for this moment for 5 years, and here we are. And I'm praying that everyone remembers there are survivors, real life survivors. And I hope that everyone takes into account how necessary a true verdict, a just verdict now. 25 years of pain, 25 years of hurt. And I'm praying that God's just going to do what he told me he's going to do. So I hope we're all just staying in vigilant prayer for everyone on all sides of this. These are human issues, and we need to have real human response and emotion.
Do you plan to be here every day? I mean, during this trial, we're expected to hear
I'm going to be around.
Have you spoken with anyone who might be possibly testifying, or have you spoken with anybody?
That I cannot say. But what I will say is my prayers for Al B. Shore are being answered day by day. From the moment that we found out he flatlined to the moment we found out he came back. I'm here vigilant for that. Justice for Kim Porter.
He broke down how he switched his habits, worked on himself, and stepped away from the crowd that dragged him down before. And he said that's why he looked like a new man. But the internet didn't fall back. People kept saying his transformation was too dramatic to be natural, and they kept pointing at every little change like it was evidence of something deeper. And right when the conversation started cooling a little, Kanye West jumped in and turned the whole rumor mill upside down again. Kanye hinted that Gucci might actually be a clone, and once he said that, the internet blew up all over again like the story had just started. Kanye has thrown out some wild claims before about people being cloned, but this time the timing hit different and made people actually stop and listen. The moment he spoke up, the internet started connecting dots because it lined up with everything going on around Gucci's strange transformation. And if you remember, there was even a point when people thought Kanye himself had been cloned, so folks figured he wasn't just talking randomly. They believed he was speaking from real experience. A lot of people online still say that even if the industry didn't fully manage to clone Kanye, they definitely tried something with him, and that's why he feels so confident calling Gucci a clone now. The theory is that Kanye saw things up close, and that's why his comments hit harder than usual. And then there's the whole situation with the rapper Hopsin, which pushed the rumors even further. Hopsin once said on IG Live that certain industry elites tried to force him into acting as Gucci's clone, and he claimed they threatened his family if he didn't go along with it. Back then, most people thought he was just joking or trying to ride the wave of the clone rumors because they were trending at the time. But now with Kanye speaking up again and pointing at the same situation, plus all the strange moments and inconsistencies in Gucci's rebrand since he got out of prison, people are starting to look at Hopsin's comments in a whole new way. It's making folks wonder if he wasn't joking at all, and if he was dropping real information that everyone missed the first time around. People online had a lot to say about this situation, and the comments were getting intense. One person wrote, "We don't even see his eyes anymore. He had a particular color of brown to his eyes. They make him wear shades all the time now." And that comment alone had everyone staring at old pictures trying to compare. Someone else jumped in saying, "I remember, that's not him and we all know it. Something is definitely off and it's hard to ignore. If he's not a clone, then maybe it's the medication or he got laced or something, but something is definitely off." And that only added more fuel to the conversation. At this point, even people who never believed in clone theories were starting to question things because the details were getting too strange to overlook. Folks were breaking down every picture, every interview, every moment since he came out of prison, trying to figure out what changed and why it changed so fast. But now I want to hear from you because this situation is wild. What do you think about Kanye exposing the whole clone situation? And do you really believe Gucci was taken out and replaced? Or do you think people are just overreacting? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below because this conversation is far from over. And before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.